Good morning, guys. How you doing? Reishi, time 4, DC Woodworking, my dude. What do we got today? So 4th of July in the US, Independence Day. Very cool. Markets are looking like there's a bit of relief on the cards, perhaps. Christian, how you doing? So we're still very much inside this wedge, this pennant formation, bear pennant. So what does that mean? Where are we headed? Well, give me a second and I'll show you. I'm going to make these different colors just so it makes sense where the pennant lives. Which one is the pennant? The line a little thicker. There we go. So now just because we're moving up right now does not mean that we can't get rejected by the top of the pennant or the top of the range, which is the previous highs here and here. Now, if we do punch that, there is another high that we have to beat, and that's this one here, and even this one here. So there's a lot of work to get through, but that's not to say that things can't just punch straight through. You know, if there's enough momentum behind it, enough buying, then we could very much punch through it. I think it was Ethereum. Ethereum did a similar thing where it went into a crash pattern, did a pennant down the bottom, and textbook we know breaks down, but Ethereum broke up from the pennant. It was either Ethereum or BNB, and this was back during the bull market. So let me see if I can find the example for you. If we go to Ethereum, and I'll go back to the daily, see if I can find where it is. Here we go. Well, in this case, it was more of a descending triangle, but or, you know, you could argue falling wedge as well, which produced the bullish result. But there was, just trying to think where it is, there was an example of a bear pennant breaking up to the upside. I think it was here, actually. Here we go. This is where it was. You know? So this can happen. Might have to go back to a smaller time frame to really see it, but essentially this is what happened. Price was coming down into a formation, and the expected textbook move would be down, but this one went up, broke up. So it can happen. We'll see if Bitcoin can produce a similar result here, where it breaks up out of this pennant against the textbook. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I try not to have a bias either way. You know, just prepare for both outcomes, basically. If we break up and go north, then awesome. We're going to start heading into like profit and like, you know, maybe even a little bit of a bull rally, but we'll see. But yeah, this is, just keep in mind that we are still very much in a bear market, and a potential for a bear pennant to play out is still on the cards. Like, even though we're traveling up for the moment, we could get rejected here, come back down, retest the bottom, and then lose that bottom and trend down. So yeah, keep your all options open is the advice here, I would say, and cover yourself. But it is nice to see this relief from, you know, just the boring old chop sideways, like downward. I mean, we saw a bit of relief here. It came up, didn't get far, it got to like almost 21k and then just got rejected big time. And we came back down again to test this, or form the pennant, basically. We've definitely formed it with this activity here. Like, this was the first point. It could have become a descending triangle if we, you know, if we came and tested 17.6 again down here and then bounced off it. That would have been more of like a descending triangle formation, but yeah, it is a pennant for now. And that is where we're at. Let me open up some alts. We'll check the weekly as well. Let me check the weekly MACD, because that's something I've been posting about lately. And that is the weekly MACD. So if we see a shift from red histogram bars to green, that's the first signal that, you know, the tide has turned and we'll start potentially going up. So yeah, this weekly MACD, it's this first signal here, this light red bar, means we've seen a potential bottom here at this point. So it's good news. It's good news for the bulls to see, you know, a potential bottom in at this point. It's still early. We've still got 6 days left of this week. So we're only fresh into this weekly candle, but so far it's a good start, but anything can happen, you know, in 6 days. There's a lot of days to play out before we get any kind of move on the uptick. So Tuggy Pepper wants to check out FTM. Yeah, definitely, man. I'll have a look. So yeah, given that, if we get the green light on the weekly MACD for Bitcoin, then, you know, look for entries on the daily, basically. If you're playing it with the MACD strategy. I'll quickly have a look at Ethereum just while we're here, and then I'll go to Phantom straight after that. So there is another, like, I mean, it's a very similar kind of story on Ethereum right now. We've got this ascending support, and we just got to identify what's happening on the top side. So it's more of a flat top, I would say, something more like that, maybe an ascending triangle. Now, out of a bearish trend forming an ascending triangle, I guess we'll have to look back to the textbooks, but we'll have to check that one. Let me just see. Can't remember off the top of my head. Ascending triangle in a bear market, in a bear run. Let me see. Just gotta go get my my pattern cheat sheet. Here we go. So ascending triangle is a bilateral pattern, so it doesn't matter if you're coming in from above or below. There's equal opportunity on both sides, so it could go up or down. It's 50-50. There's no bias there. So I think Ethereum breaking up out of this will depend on Bitcoin performing well out of this. So if Bitcoin gets rejected and comes down again, I doubt that Ethereum's going to break up. It'll probably come back down again as well. So, I mean, that's pretty obvious. So, yeah, we just have to wait and see how Bitcoin behaves coming out of this pennant here, or wedge, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like a symmetrical triangle as well. So let's check out Phantom FTM. I'll have to go to my Binance list here. FTM. All right. Let me go to the daily. Man, the good thing about FTM is that it has come right back into that cradle zone right there. Like the potential is totally back on the cards for FTM. If you think it's going to be around in the next bull market, this is a really good opportunity for FTM accumulation. It's quite simple to see that, but that's the thing. It has to perform in the next bull market. It just has, it has to prove itself and come up. So you're sitting at a potential 2,000% gain from current, or the current zone. If we take it from here, it's just under 2,000, I think, or not even. It's like 1,200. But yeah, you can see why further little pushes to the downside make all the difference. Because look, if I take a measure from current price to the all-time high, it goes up 1,200%, right? 1,200. Whereas if I take a measure from just a little bit lower, like, down here to the extreme low, like here, look how different that is. It's like 2,000. It almost gains another whole 1,000% just from that extra little push down. So it's certainly worth, that extra push we're all hoping for, the accumulators anyway. We want that extra oomph out of the bear market. But, there's so much excitement in buying at the moment that who knows if we'll even get there. And that is the same for all altcoins. Like, it just ramps up the returns. If, the further down you go, the cheaper you can accumulate, the better for future returns on your investment. So that's Phantom. So it's looking good. It's all up to you on the research. Like, if you look in the fundamentals of what Phantom is, and if you trust that they're going to be around in 2 to 4 years, maybe 5 years, or whatever, just the future. Yeah, and that's the same with all altcoins as well. The good thing about Ethereum, Dogecoin is they're sort of like, they've been around the block. Like, they've been through many cycles and they've proven that they've survived. They haven't just, done it. There's no rug pull event type thing. There's no collapse in the project like we've seen with Luna and, a few, like many other cryptos. They just don't survive the bear market. So yeah, it's if the project is robust, it doesn't need performance of a bull market to survive. It can survive both bull and bear scenarios. So yeah, and we've seen that with Bitcoin, Ethereum. Litecoin's been around. It's not an amazing performer, but it's been around. It's in the top 20 at least. But yeah, just definitely do your research on the alts. Check out some good fundamental crypto channels that talk about the fundamentals, not just the technicals. Let's have a look back on the top 20 here. I want to check out Solana, because that thing's been playing between 30 and 40. So everything's sort of been playing in a range lately. But look at that bounce so far. Like, if you're comparing this list anyway, Solana is the top performer so far. Ethereum second, Matic third. I really like Matic as well. So Solana, Matic, really good altcoins. I think recently there was an announcement that that Facebook would be opening up an NFT market, and the way that they're going to do that is based off the Ethereum and Matic network, so Polygon. So Matic has a bright future, at least for now. So that's good news for Matic. Another good thing for Solana here is, like a lot of the alts, we've got this higher low to begin with. So there is this potential optimism in the market so far. It looks like it's in a bit of a falling wedge as well. Oh, that might be a stretch actually. Oh, wrong tool. To grab the line. Yeah, no, it's more of a descending channel, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm still pretty confident that Solana, if Bitcoin has another push down, that's only good news for any kind of buying. But yeah, I think Solana's holding this zone pretty well. And yeah, I'm bullish on Solana long term. I'm bullish on Matic long term. Doge could be a lot of fun in the next bull market because it's just one of those coins that pumps like crazy. Retail love Doge. I don't think there wouldn't be too many like big multi-million-dollar firms investing into Dogecoin. I don't think. Elon Musk would be the closest to that, but I think it's kind of like a little hobby for him, Dogecoin. But he likes stirring up the SEC, that's for sure. All right, let's go back to the smaller time frames for Doge. So you can see the result of a bear pennant. This is like a textbook play for a bear pennant, which is what Bitcoin's currently in. So you can see, like, even though it has its moments of optimism where it comes back up to the top, there's a good chance that it gets rejected and comes down, breaks down out of the pennant. But I think a lot of this was timing. Like, this was to do with Bitcoin falling at the time, which pushed Doge out of that, or we broke down out of that point. So, but yeah, cool to see Dogecoin back up almost at 7 cents again. We punched through it late June, almost got to 8 cents, as we know. That was, I think there's a little bit of Elon Musk hype behind that one too. Saying he still likes Dogecoin or something like that. So that caused a nice rally off the bottom here, this 5 cent low. So yeah, I would say Dogecoin is like my wild card. It's exciting to watch what it does next, but yeah, just let's see what happens. It'd be awesome to see any kind of prices near the old all-time high. But yeah, if you're a Doge fan, then yeah, dollar cost average into it. Is what I reckon. Just accumulate. These prices are fairly cheap. Even if you sell at 30 cents or even 20 cents, like, that's really good returns from here. Like, not bad at all. Like, you can't sneeze at 200%. If you look at 30 cents, it's like 330. Yeah, so not bad. And it's not impossible for Doge to get back to 30 cents because it's proven that it's spent quite a lot of time around that area, especially down at 20. Between 20 and 30, there's a lot of history there. So people saw from the last bull run what Doge can do, like how it can perform. So there's, it's got that exposure to the market. It's not just another coin like in the top 400, so to speak, or 500, whatever you want to say. So yeah. So Time4 says recently announced that Uber Eats is now accepting Doge here in the US. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, the more things that get it on board for its use case, the better. So that's Dogecoin at the moment. We've got to get above this high here. Need to punch 8 cents to get us back up into this range here. So I think through this sort of bear market, this bottom here, Doge is actually holding up better than Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's taken a tumble from 30 down to 20k, whereas Doge took a tumble from, you know, around 8 cents down to 5 cents, but it's almost, you know, it only has to go up 1 cent to get back into that ballpark, whereas Bitcoin has a lot more work to do to get anywhere near 30k again. So yeah, and that's, I think, a lot of alts, because they bleed so heavy, you know, during all of this time here, the alts retraced way faster than Bitcoin. So, you know, Bitcoin stalled around 40 and then around 30, but the alts, during a bear market, alts don't stand up very well. So they get their crash over with a lot sooner, you could say. And, you know, from there, like, the recovery seems to be faster or more healthy than Bitcoin because of that. So that's what we've got for Bitcoin. And don't forget, we've got this giant falling wedge on Bitcoin as well. We fell out the bottom of this one. See, they're not always bullish. They can fail. That was thanks to that drop from 30 to 20. But let's see what we got. I'm guessing a lot of people are busy 4th of July celebrations. What time is it right now? It's probably like prime time, yeah, Eastern on the 4th of July, 7, almost 8 p.m. So lots of fireworks going off, no doubt. Add some fireworks to the chat. See if there are any fireworks. Fireworks. Oh, there we go. Yes, someone already did. Well done. So from here, we're 10 minutes away from the daily close, and the candle we've just basically performed has gone up 5%. Excellent news. 10 minutes left, or, you know, about 9 minutes left of today's candle. I think it's going to close pretty solid, it looks like. It'd be really nice to get another solid green candle for the bulls tomorrow, like, you know, tomorrow's candle, which starts in 9 minutes, of course. So let's see how we go. So on the daily, the interesting thing about the daily chart is in the last like week or so, we've had down movement on the chart, except we've had, you know, positive performance on the MACD, which is very bizarre. Like, it's kind of divergent, if you ask me. You know, you've got this low point here. Yeah, it's bizarre to see that. So this histogram candle here, the one that we're getting today, is very positive. But I mean, just compare it to back here. This could be like this area where we feel like we're having a really nice positive day, and then bang, we get a really nasty red candle that shoves us back to where we started. So yeah, we'll just have to be patient and wait for the true breakout, which is prices above 22K. I would say, like, that's a good, like, the start, a signal of the start of something positive happening. So this looked really good. This setup here, we get 3 consecutive days, followed with the third day being a solid green candle going up almost 8%. So, yeah, we just need something like that. I mean, the global economic situation doesn't help, that's for sure. There's a lot of fear, not just in crypto, but markets globally. So, a lot of reserve banks, the Federal Reserve, that kind of thing, they're raising interest rates. So that's not a good sign. Like, it's just a sign that it's a very unhealthy time at the moment economically speaking. So we just have to ride it out. It's just another cycle. We've been through it before. Nothing has crashed per se. Like, nothing. There's been no massive crash. It's kind of just been a bleed out so far. So there's been no, like, flash crash like the COVID thing, or like the 2008, real estate market crashing. Like, it's just been a bleed since January, pretty much. But here we are. Like, we could be seeing the potential bottoms. So, and we don't really know where the bottom's going to be, crypto or stock market. We don't really know where the bounce will happen. So this is why dollar cost averaging is a good strategy, because you basically forfeit trying to call the bottom. You're like, you admit that, okay, I can't call the bottom, so I'll just keep accumulating, and eventually the bottom will be found, and I will have accumulated around that area. I'll get a nice average price for that zone, and I'm prepared for when the bull cycle starts up again. So you guys watching this stream, give yourselves a huge pat on the back, because you are the ones that are paying attention to crypto in the part of the market where the majority of people are blind to it. Like, they're not paying attention. They wouldn't touch crypto if someone paid them to touch it, And these are the people that come back in the bull market and say that they wish they had bought at the bottom, at the dips. So, and we are the people, we're buying with the smart money. If it goes lower, then, so be it, buy more. That's what I'm going to do. If it goes dramatically lower, then sweet, I'll buy more cheaper. Your money's more powerful on the drop. So, yeah, this is where the smart money buys. Like, it's been proven time and time again. Every time there's a dramatic dip, if I go logarithmic here, the smartest money buys in here, because they know that there is going to be some kind of recovery to come. Through here, recoveries always seem to happen with Bitcoin and a lot of the markets worldwide. I don't see why, there's this drop and then it never comes back. Like, it's never happened before. There's so many people that say Bitcoin is over. Like, when it's like in this situation here, all you hear about is people saying, crypto's a joke, it's never coming back, like, it's dead in the water, and lo and behold, just give it time and it outperforms the previous high. So that's my view on it. And yeah, I never get sick of saying that. That's, buy low, sell high. Don't freak out when it gets low, like 98% of people do. A lot of people aren't touching it because they think it's over. And I think it's kind of Out of the entire history, let me get a chart. What makes this time so special compared to every other time as it's gone down? Like if we zoom out on the monthly, Bitcoin has come down so many times, like here, 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 and now here again. Why is this so special? Like, why is it over forever just because it's down here? Like, it makes no sense. People were calling it dead. Every drop, every dip, every drop that's ever existed. Yeah, but you can see the trend here, right? We're heading up, like over time. We're heading up. I mean, it'd be kind of silly to call, or it'd be short sighted to call $69,000 for Bitcoin the top ever, in existence ever. Especially when we've got so much attention on crypto as a money making market, and so many people with lots of money and influence have made hell of a lot of money in crypto. So to think that they're just gonna ignore it this time and not do it again is, yeah, it's foolish. So yeah, just ignore the FUD. It's all fear. A lot of it is actually to drive the price lower. So it's these fear campaigns to try and drive the price lower, and I'm actually almost in support of them. Like, if it freaks people out and they sell at a low, then that's awesome. Keep driving it lower for me, so that I can buy more. And that's kind of like the attitude you have to have in cryptos, like especially during a bear market, because you need these prices to come down in order to accumulate. If things just stayed stable, like how boring would that be? Like if it just moved between 60 and 56, like if it just acted like the dollar basically and didn't go anywhere, didn't accumulate value, or there was no crashes or anything, you wouldn't be able to trade that. There's no point. It's like trying to trade Forex almost. Anyway, and this is why leverage is so important in bigger markets, because people get excited about a 5% move for the week. In crypto, it moves 5% in a matter of minutes sometimes. So, yeah, crypto's a very fun market to trade in. It's 24/7. The barrier for entry is really low, so you don't have to have a license to trade, like, well, at least for now, which is good. Hopefully it stays that way. And yeah, it's a good market to learn in as well, because everything's amplified, and it's like trial by fire in a way. If you get wrecked, it's easy to get wrecked in crypto if you don't know what you're doing. Whereas I think other markets are a bit more forgiving. So this is that really long-term chart. If you just type in BLX into TradingView, you'll get this Brave New Coin liquid index for Bitcoin. So it's just a measure of a really macro view of the entire existence of Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, if we don't start going bullish now, that's okay, because we've got this coming up, and there's still plenty of time to accumulate. The longer the better. The more time we have to buy, the better, because if things start moving now, the party's over. You can't buy more because it's already going up. So the longer we have, the better. I know it's like, it gets a bit annoying and frustrating during a bear market. Like, it gets very boring and sideways, and it feels like nothing's happening. But yeah, hang in there, be patient, and your patience will be rewarded. So at the moment, I'm getting a bit of a message by YouTube saying that my stream's slowing down. Hopefully it's not hopefully it hasn't crashed, or hopefully you can still hear me. You might be getting that little buffering symbol, or it might the quality might have dropped. So just bear with it. It'll come good. So I hope that hopefully these streams are useful for you guys. Like, it's kind of like this pep talk kind of thing that I do. So, you know, it's about psychology. You need to it's mind games. It's all psychological, you know. That's what markets are. It's driven by psychology and fear and greed and whatnot. So it's definitely awesome to practice and get the experience under your belt that we're seeing a bear market. This is what happens in a bear market. The media and, you know, social media especially, they can spit out the fear and the FUD, and the markets can reflect that too. But it's all healthy. It's all a good sign. Like, this is all very good. Prices coming down just means we get another opportunity to trade in a market that's going to rip up again, just like it did last year and the year before. You know, we had a very nice bull market. If we go back to the weekly chart, this went for ages. How many months was this? So from the drop all the way to the top, 20 months. That's almost 2 years of just bullish activity. Very nice. Mind you, there was a bit of a 2 month pause where we had to reset. I was calling for the start of the bear market, you know, because of this May candle, like this May bloodbath that we had, and the fact that we got a lower low. But yeah, we found stability at 30k, and we got a second push, which was very unnatural, by the way. Like this, that was manipulated, I reckon. I'll show you why as well. If you go to the higher time frame and you see the highs here, look at this. We've got a high here, right? Let me turn the logarithmic off, and then a second high. So we pushed higher on price, but we certainly did not push higher on the oscillator. So that was divergent. That was a big signal that the party was over, you know. When we hit 69k, like, we just could not sustain further action above 69,000. So, and there was another on, if I go back to the daily as well, you'll see on a smaller scale, we could not sustain a push higher than this area here because of the divergence we were dealing with. Like, check out this. This is a good learning. So we've got a high. So all our highs were getting higher, but the highest peak was supposed to be here, according to the oscillator, right? So we had another 2 more highs that were divergent on the oscillation. So we were pushing high here, but, you know, it was spelling trouble on the oscillator, and, you know, we plummeted. We got that lower high and lower low, and we lost it. So it's good to, check your oscillators, see what's happening on the macro view. Is there any signs of reversal? Like, have we exhausted selling off? Is there any sign that, you know, that this is divergent? So if we're on the daily, we can see this low here and this low here. compared to this low and this low. So we might have to go full screen on the MACD just to compare these lows. You can see that there is almost, it's not a strong divergence, but there is some kind of divergence there. It's, you know, ever so slight potentially. The way to really tell if you want to compare them is to just change up the scale a bit. So they're actually quite even, but ever so gradually. The second low is actually higher. Let me just make this 1 pixel, change the color. So if you compare the low there with the low there, that's a higher low on oscillation. So that means, back like that, just remember that line is a higher low, whereas this is dramatically lower low price. So that is divergence on the daily. So that's a good signal that we've got bullish divergence on the daily chart, and you know, we might see some action to come. Let me open up the RSI as well. I'll get that happening. Sorry about the Discord sounds notifications. So it's actually kind of confluent here. So there's nothing out of the ordinary as far as the RSI is concerned, and this is why, like, it's not the strongest divergence in the world, but you know, if you get flat performance on the bottom, but really like a push low on price, you know that it's not marrying up. It's not perfectly, you know, something unnatural's happening here, and that's, you know, maybe potentially the oscillators didn't see this kind of drop you know, in confluence with the rest of the market and how the performance has been with moving averages, that kind of thing. So long story short, there is a level of divergence that we're working with. I might make the RSI a bit smaller, have the MACD larger. Now, let me just move back through these comments here. Good to see that you're all having positive reactions to the stream, so appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Remember to smash the like button if you haven't done that already. Now, what do we got? We got our new daily candle. We're 10 minutes into it. Yesterday's candle was a nice strong green candle there. We have to get above this. Then we have to break through top of this wedge, the top of this pennant. Thank you, Johnny. And hello from the Philippines. Chris's journey in the Philippines province. Ah, so you're like adventuring through the Philippines. That's cool. Beautiful country by the looks of it. I've seen photos. Tropical climate. So let's start off. Fresh day. Let's see what's been moving the most so far. ICP, Ethereum Classic, Filecoin, Matic. Let me go to the true alt list here. See if anything's ripping up. ENJ, Engine. That's that gaming coin. AXS as well. So a couple of NFT gaming type cryptos there. I love all those gaming cryptos, like let me just go back to the list here. You go to NFT. So we got Mana, that Decentraland crypto, Sand. Theta Network is like a DeFi kind of thing. AXS, Axis Infinity, Engine. That's like gaming, like cosmetics, like kind of like a gaming marketplace for cosmetics that you can buy. But yeah, NFTs, an exciting space. I reckon we'll see how they go in the next bull market, but you know, there's a lot of support for it out there. That's for sure. A lot of people are bullish on NFTs, so DeFi as well. I mean, DeFi could be up for some regulation, but it's still an exciting kind of environment. So these categories here, look at that. Solana's now got its own category, you know, for things that exist in harmony with Solana. Audio, that's all about. See, I've got to do a lot of research on the new cryptos that have come up in the last 12 months that I haven't really heard of before. You know, maybe audio's been around longer than that, but it's the first I've sort of really known about it, or heard about it. Luna Classic, yeah. That thing's been going all over the place. I haven't looked at it in a while, but geez. Let's go to the L's. Reach it alphabetically, so find it. Luna against BUSD. So yeah, because it's come down so severe, it's like anytime it rips, it seems to perform well, but in comparison to where it's been, it's, yeah, it's a bit of a joke. Yes, limit buys. So, well, to be honest with you, I have been buying direct with fiat. So it's not limit, it's not using the market system per se. You know, it's not using an exchange. It's just buying directly off, like say, well, I'm doing it through Binance, so I'm just buying directly with my MasterCard through Binance. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment, just accumulating. But when it comes time to take profit, I'll be taking profit into some kind of stable coin. And then that's where I'll be actually trading per se. Because at the moment I'm just accumulating. I'm not trading. I'm just purchasing, making purchases with fiat. But if you have like a stockpile of like Tether, for example, on the side, yeah, you would be doing limit buys. Just realize that depending on the exchange you're on, market buys attract a fee that may be higher than your limit buys. So just be aware of that. I mean, look at this Luna Classic drop. Very dramatic at the moment. It's just fallen out of the sky. Be careful on that if you're in it. Yeah, this is something's happened here. Someone's given up on it. Someone that was holding a lot of it. If we go back, if we go back to what's been performing well, Sand, okay, up 15% in the last 24 hours, not bad at all. Terra Classic USD, yeah, not great. Now, the cool thing about things like Phantom and Sand and all that, they've fallen really far, like 89% for Phantom, 88% for Gala. Like, these things have come right down. Axes is a good one. See, I'm just when you sort of compare this list, you can see which ones have fallen the most dramatic this year. I mean, even Matic, Polygon, like that's come down amazingly, 80%, 81%. So yeah, basically 80% for Sand. Solana, the golden child, 79.5%. But I don't think Doge would be. It's Dogecoin. Here we go. It's only fallen 60% since the start of the year, because I think a lot of its bloodshed happened before the year, or the year to date rather. It happened a long time ago. So yeah, Luna, damn. Sorry to those Luna Classic enthusiasts. Someone's having lunch on Luna Lunk. Check out the daily on Luna. It might even come back down into this area. The people that saw this coming for Luna, what a short that would have been to open here and just watch it drop. There's a low here. There's actually a support line here. So there could be a potential bounce. But yeah, I'm not touching it, of course. Way too risky. There's no consistency with it. It's just so scary. Like, this looks like some kind of an uptrend, and then all of a sudden, bang, inconsistent drop. Yeah, I would not touch that. It's like cowboy trading, You're just buying into something and crossing your fingers. All right, so today's looking like a decent start for Bitcoin at least. This is our first hourly candle. I mean, we're only 20 minutes in to a daily, so yeah, anything can happen, of course. But I am still kind of bearish. I just don't think the excitement is there yet. We would need a catalyst, something like a massive whale buying it up out of nowhere, like punching through all the resistance to really kick this off, like to get the market moving. But I mean, we've seen it before. Out of something that looked like the end of the world, this drop here turned out to be an amazing catalyst for a bounce and market recovery when the world seemed like it was dying from COVID. So yeah, good things can happen out of a bad situation, especially these flash crashes. So we've certainly had a pretty severe drop back on the 13th of June. Like, it's been quite nasty. So I've been streaming here for about 55 minutes now. I'll probably wrap it up soon, but keep an eye on this chart here. We'll see what's been happening. Still a bit indecisive, I would say. Bit of indecision in there. This is our new daily candle, of course. 23.5 hours to go. Do we get the retest of the top of the pennant, or do we get rejected and travel back down again? So if we go to the shorter time frame, we could be in for a back test of 20k again. Punch down, back test it, find support, move up higher. that's also like pretty normal. If you come up through a support, you want to know that it's going to hold as support. If you come up through resistance, you want to back test to know that it's going to act as support to move up. It's all about building confidence in the market, back testing to figure out where the supports are. And mind you, we're only on the 5-minute chart here, so it's very short-term movements. Just remember the higher time frames dictate where things are headed. They've got a lot more influence. You get a lot more of a view on what's happening. Go to the 4-hour, yeah. So 4 hours a nice comfortable chart to do TA off. You know, it captures a bit of the short term and you get a picture of the long term at the same time. So it's like a nice happy medium between the micro and the macro. The 4-hour chart. So a lot of people do TA off the 4-hour. If you've seen Mitch Ray, he does his streams on the 4-hour. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I'll keep this stream short. I know you guys might be busy with the 4th of July celebrations, so wrap it up before too long, and enjoy your night. And happy 4th of July to those in the US. Thanks again for checking out the stream. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back on maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. If there's anything exciting that happens in the market between now and tomorrow, I might even hop on. If something really dramatic happens, probably pop in for another stream. But until then, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and all the best. Have a good one. See you guys.